The Lions are being linked to Jadeveon Clowney. Now, let me know in the comments, yes or no. Do you want him? Yes or no, and why? Because I get it. Clowney is not what he once was, or he really hasn't fulfilled the potential that we once thought he had. But he's still a big player. He still could, he could still fill a need for us because remember, we didn't really address defensive line in the draft like we maybe thought we were going to. We did get Martin, a defensive tackle, but our edge rushers, we thought we were going to address that, and we really didn't in the draft. So he's been linked to us as a good fit because we're still trying to add some depth there. So here's the article. It's on Fansided. Check it out. They do a great job with the Lions. So we went Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell. Now the Lions are poised to run a rotation. Aiden Hutchinson, beautiful, love it. Romeo, Charles, Harris, John Kaminsky. Now they're forgetting about James Houston, but we have Josh Paschal as well. So we've got this interesting dynamic where on the defensive line, you've got a lot of interchangeable pieces, but a true like pass rushing defensive end. We've got Aiden Hutchinson, Charles Harris, Romeo, but are these guys, what are they going to be like? That's really the question. So you're really bringing in Clowney for a competition piece. Can he make the team? Great. If he can't, then that's fine too, right? So we've got James Houston, who's a pass rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, who can play all three downs, and then Romeo and Julian Aquara, Charles Harris, right? John Kaminsky's more of an inside guy. Pascal's more of an inside guy. And then we've got our defensive tackles, Bugs, and those guys. So I don't mind this. I really don't mind this because you're going to bring him in. You're going to give him no guaranteed money. So it's one of those things. If he does sign here, it would be a very friendly contract. We're not going to give him a bad contract. Let's assume we give him a friendly contract. It's like, yeah, absolutely. You'd bring in Clowney, and Clowney's got to realize it's time to like stop the demands of the money that you want. You've underperformed. You don't perform to all the money that you demand. It doesn't work. When he's with the Seahawks, with the Browns, whatever. So the Lions are building a roster of hard-charging, aggressive players with motors that don't quit. That hasn't always been Clowney's mentality, and his comments about the Browns coaching staff could squash any interest the Lions would have in him. Exactly. Clowney, does he fit our culture? That's the thing. No, right? So I like it for depth, and you give him a good give him a good contract, or a team-friendly contract, and see what he can do. But does he fit what the Lions want to do as far as like a gritty mentality? No, that's not who he is. He's just always been super athletic, freaky, and he's been able to do whatever he's wanted to do on the football field. And so, I don't know. Here we go. Let's just look at his last few years. He played for the Seahawks in 19, Titans in 20, Cleveland Browns 21 and 22. He had 9 sacks in 2021. And dropped off to just 2 sacks last year. So 2 years ago, he's right up there, very good. But then last year only had 2 sacks. He followed that with an aforementioned comments accusing the Browns coaching staff of setting Myles Garrett up to produce at his expense. So this is hurting Clowney because he's talking about, I could have had more, but they set up Myles Garrett. So it turns teams off, and we've been linked to him because, hey, we've got something going here. It's weird how like we've got some of these free agent guys that are kind of cherry picking the team they want to go to. And of course they want to go to a contender, and we are the contender now. How that happens so fast, I don't even know, but we're a contender. We always need defensive ends. Let's go. We have a culture now in place where we can bring guys like this in. If they don't work, see you, you're out the door. But I don't think we're going to do this with Clowney, but I wouldn't hate it. I just really wouldn't. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on Clowney and anybody else that maybe you're interested in, or something that we could be looking at, because there's this dead period right now until I think it's June 1 or July 1 where some more cuts and some different contract money is due to guys. So they might get cut, they might get traded, whatever. But we're in a little bit of a dead period here before we get to OTAs that are going to start in a couple weeks. I think it's in a couple weeks, but to kind of see what we got. So I think we go into OTAs. We're not going to do anything right away with like Clowney, for example. We'll get into OTAs, see where we're at, see what kind of injuries. You might just need bodies, right, at some point. And Clowney, I feel like he's still asking for a lot of money. He still thinks he's really good because in 22 years ago, he had 9 sacks. Last year, he dropped off, but said it was their coaching staff fault. So in his mind, he still believes he's really good and wants $10 million a year or whatever. He's not going to get that. We're not going to give that to him. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Jadeveon Clowney. I've always liked him. Always thought, man, I like watching him play, but I just don't know if he's a good fit for the Lions. But hey, what the heck? Bring him in. Let's bring some guys in and let the 53-man roster decide, right? Like, just because we're bringing him in doesn't mean he's on the team and he's taking anybody's spot. See if he can make the team. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And remember, this canvas right here, make sure, where's it at? Right there. Check the link in the description. They have a sale going on right now. They got all kinds of stuff. Check it out. Link in the description. Also become a member if you haven't already. Members are great way to support the channel. It's a cheap way to do it and really helps us out a ton if you become a member. So check that out. And we will see all of you on the next one.